This is Justin Ruiz for CSC300 Assignment 5. So first we initialize the scanner and initialize a string for the recursive method to use later on. Then we're going to prompt and set the size of the array using the scanner and grab that variable. Then we're going to ask for the elements in the set and they're going to be separated by commas. Then with the raw string variable, we're going to go ahead and split them using the comma delimiter, and that also initializes the string array with them inside as well. Then we get into the recursion of the project. So for the recursion portion of the project, I found it necessary to send in 4 elements to be used. First of all, you have to use the actual string array, and then the string itself, a 0 for a marker. This kind of works in the same way that an iterator in a loop would work. And then lastly, we need all of the length of the array as an integer. So for the actual recursion method itself, it works kind of in the same way that a tree would work. And if every comma separated value in the array is treated as a bit, then you can go through the tree bit by bit until we reach the length of the array and print out every single value, last value in the tree branch. So for the actual recursion method itself, it's probably easier to explain as the process is going on. So I went ahead and opened up the debug menu and we'll explain it as the program is going through it. So for the number of elements, I put in 2, and for the elements themselves, I'll put A, B separated by a comma. So the first thread will start here, as you can see, and this will start off at 0, right? So if this is a binary, then it'll go 0, and then this will go as a 1, refer to a 1, and what that does is that adds the current value in the string array to the toPrint, and will call itself again. And so now you can see here that in the toPrint there's an A, and that represents a 1 in the first index position of the array. So basically the A was turned on, and now, but we haven't reached the end of the array yet. So now we're going to go back again. It's going to call itself again. And now the index where B is also going to be switched onto a 1. And now that the marker is equal to the length, because whenever this recursion method is called, it also iterates the marker forward. So now that the marker is equal to the length, the program will now print out the first set in the power set, and then it'll return, and the thread that was there before will go into garbage collection or wherever it goes, and it will continue off where it last left off on the previous thread. So on the previous thread, the A was a 1, and this one will refer to a 0 for the next bit. So now it'll be A1, which is on, and then B0, which is off. And it still iterates the marker 1 forward. So now that the marker is at the end of the array, it'll go ahead and print out that set right there. And then it'll go back to so now that thread is finished, it'll go through the program and it'll go back to the very first thread that we created. For the first index, that was at a 0 for A, and now it's going to go up 1 more, and now it's going to have a 1 for B here. So this one will be 0 for A and 1 for B, which means A will be off and B will be on. And it's at the end of the array, so it'll go ahead and print B and return, and then the last thread will always be 0, 0, where A is 0 and B is 0. So they'll both be off, which will always be the empty set, which prints out right there. So now I'll go ahead and just test out a raw input using the ABC that was given in the initial instructions.